Hey Michelle, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I am doing well.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. I've been walking dogs all day, so nothing new,
I
and feeling extra
started
cool
to
with my.
time.
You're not looking. Oh my goodness! Hello.
We're hot messes right now. We just got back from LA.
Oh, nice. How was
Oh,
that?
it's good. We're building the rescue down there. And
Hmm.
so when we go down there, we're in a little camper with no power and no water. So for 2 weeks, we rough it pretty good, as far as you can rough it in a camper, but it's been a lot.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, Michelle Smith, we discussed this before. There's no way I can mess up that last name.
Right? Pretty easy.
That's good. And you are the VP of fundraising for the Community of Fashion Design Dog Association. And more importantly, some may argue, dog mom to Scarlett and Paisley. So, yeah, you just kind of want to jump in and take me through kind of where did your passion for dogs and animal care nonprofit all start?
When I was a little girl, my parents used to take us to the shelter. And I think they just wanted to expose us to, things that were happening. And so they would take us to the shelter and I would ask, what's going to happen to these dogs? And they said, well, if they don't find a home, they'll be euthanized. And I'm
Oh
like,
man.
well,
And
how
and
do we?
where was this? Where did you grow
We
up?
lived in North Idaho. We lived
Okay.
in North Idaho in a little town called Pierce, Idaho, when I was
Nice.
very young. And we would go to, and because it was such a tiny town, there was no shelter there. So we would go to the next biggest town over, which was Lewiston, Idaho, and we
Hmm.
would go to the shelter. And I vividly remember going there. And I would just, how do we stop them from getting euthanized? And I
Yeah.
said, well, all the dogs have to find homes,
Right.
and the cats too. I'm more of a dog
Sure.
person, but I do love
I
cats
am
too.
also more of a dog person, so you're in the same space right here.
Yeah. And so it's kind of been my life's mission to figure out, how we can help animals. And I've worked in every bit of rescue and that you can. I've fostered, I've done transport, I've done so many things.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of you life takes you a different way sometimes, and
Sure.
I kind of got away from doing as much. I mean, I always adopted from shelters, and I always donated and things, but I didn't volunteer as much as I wish I would have.
Sure, but also like life gets busy, right? Like it's you
Yeah,
gotta, it's you're doing what you can.
exactly. And so, it over the years I've adopted and had many dogs and
Yeah.
and a cat as well in my
At
adult
least
life.
one.
Yes, just one cat in my adult life, and then I met my husband, and he's super allergic. So after we lost her, she was I think 18 when we lost her.
Oh,
So she had
wow.
a nice long life, but we
Yeah.
decided no more cats, just dogs for us,
Sure.
and that's
And you're
fine.
not using your husband's allergies as an excuse to not have more cats, right? There's not there.
No, no. I like I said, I still like cats. I'm just more attracted to
Of
dogs. Like I
course.
love dogs.
Yeah, yeah. It's been funny like doing because I've always we've always been like a dog family, and I never really was around too many cats. And now that I'm doing pet care, like I'm definitely gonna be taking care of cats. And it's funny, like I had this one client, she has three dogs, and she's a cat, but I would never see like the cat inside. I'm like, I have no idea if this cat's even here. And then like the other day, like I was there, letting the pups out. And I went and sat down with her after, and the cat came up to my lap, and she texted me. She's like, "You've been chosen." I was like, "Yes."
Welcome to the club.
That's right. That's right. So you have, was it three degrees?
I do, yeah. I
Yeah.
have three business degrees, including an MBA, master's
Nice.
degree. And my forte was nonprofit fundraising and marketing.
Nice.
So yeah, I went back to get my master's a little later in life,
Sure.
and I decided, well, I would like to do something for good. And I started out, using it to help people. But the more I work with people, the more I love dogs. And
Right,
so
right.
yeah, and then I met my husband, and after a couple years he said, well, we have this opportunity to go on the road with my job. He said
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to work while we travel. And I'm like, yes,
Deal?
please. And so we travel mostly in California, but we travel all over the country, really. But
Sure.
while we're on the road, I go into local rescues and I teach them how to do fundraising. I teach them how to use social media.
Very
There's just
cool.
everything I know, I teach them and help them as best I
That is
can. And it's
awesome.
been a great little program for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Well, so what kind of stuff, like if you're going in, let's say you're back in North Idaho, for example, and you're going back and they've opened up a shelter there, right? You stop in, what kind of stuff are you sharing with them?
Well, I'll do a kind of evaluation of their social media and I'll show them, and I'm no social media expert by any
Sure.
means. I was well into my late 30s before I ever even got on Instagram. So
Right.
it's kind of a self-taught thing, and I've
Sure.
done a lot of research to kind of figure out how to get to where we're at. And so I share as much as I know, with people I help. We help rescues find each other. So maybe this rescue has a dog they can't get adopted. This other rescue might have a great fit for that dog. So I kind of help try to put rescues
Nice.
together, and we're trying to form
That's a
this
little bit
really
of
nice.
B to B right there. Look at that.
Yeah,
Business stuff.
yeah,
Business stuff.
exactly. You know how it is with those business degrees. I'm using my expensive degree for good, I guess, at
That's
least if it's
right.
not to make any money. But
Yeah. So, so yeah, I mean, I think that social media definitely plays a very large role, especially in the rescue adoption world. I had done a podcast with a lady who ended up she takes pictures for dogs professionally, and just upgrading the quality at which a picture was taken, coming in and helping out with that can make a huge difference and really increase the likelihood of getting that dog adopted. So I think doing that, because they're so it's a problem that I don't know, maybe can only be solved by policy or increasing spay and neuter as time goes on, that kind of thing. But that being said, I think going in and teaching the social media is a really good and different approach that can make a difference, because you can only foster so many dogs, right? And then you can only fundraise. Well, I guess you could fundraise a lot, but I mean, the general person can only fundraise and donate so much. So I think that's really interesting.
yeah, yeah. And so, when I went on the road, before I started going into the local rescues, I got kind of lonely and I didn't anticipate that. And we've had that ADHD conversation where
Yeah,
it's hard for us to sit and do nothing. And so I sat and did nothing for maybe a couple of months, and I about went crazy.
yeah,
And I said, well, let me make a social media for Scarlett. Let me do an Instagram for
yeah.
Scarlett to give me something to do. She's cute as a button. She's one handful, 5 pounds of fury and fluff and
Yep.
big eyes. And people love her when they meet her, and she
Yeah.
loves to meet people. And so I started the social media, and it kind of developed from there. We started making all these amazing connections, not just with rescues and shelters, but with people. Like, people really resonated with her story.
Definitely.
And her story, she was born in Stockton, California. She
Always
was born,
California.
always. But she was born with a deformed spine.
Hmm.
And so the breeder took her in when she was just a baby to be euthanized, to the Humane
Wow.
Society to be euthanized. And a rescue just happened to be in there. The rescuer, her name is Sarah, and she just happened to be there, and she saved her life. She said, I'll take her.
Yeah.
And
And then punch the
she
breeder right in the stomach. No, I'm
I
just
wish,
kidding.
I wish. But yeah, she took her in, and they put her up on Pet Finder. And
Hmm.
it just so happened I was in Washington State at the time, and
Hmm.
I was going through just kind of a rough time in my life. And I'm like, Michelle, quit feeling sorry for yourself and do something for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I want a special needs dog. And so I started just looking for
Oh,
several weeks on Pet Finder at special needs dogs, and I came across this little white ball of fluff with two giant eyes, and I'm like, oh, there's my dog. that's
yep.
that's my dog. And so I sent an application, and they chose me.
Nice.
So, and it's the best decision I've ever
Oh,
made. Like,
absolutely.
don't tell my husband that, because he's a good decision too. But yeah, she's changed my life in so many ways.
Oh,
And
sure.
we just use her social media now to show the world that just because she's special needs, she has different needs than a normal
Sure.
dog, that she can still live an amazing life. I mean, this dog has seen more of the country and done more things. She just walked as a model in LA Fashion Week a few weeks ago.
So
she
awesome.
she was on a TV show this summer. She
Yeah.
walked a red carpet at a movie premiere. So she's done so many amazing things. And we're very blessed to be able to do
Well, I
what
don't
we
think
do
she
and
could
show.
have gotten matched with a better mom either. I mean, she's getting to live, like you said, she's probably traveling more than a majority of humans do in their entire life, which is very cool. And so what kind of special needs is she working through? I know you mentioned the deformed spine, and
Mhm.
had you worked with special needs dogs before?
I hadn't, but I followed a rescue. It's Opie's Special Needs English Bulldog
Hmm.
Rescue.
Yeah.
And she took in, I followed them for years before I decided to do this. And she takes in bulldogs with, her name's Julie Hirschberger, and she takes in bulldogs with spina bifida.
Mm.
And they're diaper dogs. And she does videos on, teaches you how to change diapers on a dog and, just the different things that they need. And she would just share everyday life with all these dogs that she had.
Cool.
And it just showed me, oh my gosh, she works full time and she can still take care of all these special needs bulldogs.
Yeah.
I can surely take care of one little 5-pound dog, And so she's the one that kind of gave me the knowledge. And after I adopted Scarlett, if I had any questions, I could message her and she would help
Oh,
me.
that's great.
Yes, she was amazing. And she's the reason that I'm like, oh, I can do special needs. I can do this.
That's cool. That's cool. And I
Yeah. But
imagine that, throughout growing your following and you posting your everyday life, you've probably become that to other people as well. Um,
yeah.
and I mean, it was funny on our earlier call, you had mentioned you're like, and the best thing about it is that I don't have to go outside when it's cold and take her out. I don't.
Oh my gosh, I will change a diaper any day over taking a dog out in the rain. Absolutely. And Scarlett has been getting, 4 or 5 diapers a day since she was 8 weeks old.
Yeah,
And so she knows she
she's
loves to
used
get
to
her.
it.
Yeah. And you show her a diaper and say, you want to get your pants changed. And she runs over and she turns around and she sticks her butt up to you and she stands there and lets you change her diaper. And she's 10 years old now. And so
Sure.
it's a little bit harder for her to go potty on her own. So we
Right.
have to kind of stimulate to help her go potty. And it's no trouble. I mean,
Yeah,
2 minutes and you're done, and
exactly.
some baby wipes, and she's happy, and it's she's the easiest dog I've ever had.
Yeah.
Up until she was 8 years old, she'd never even had any medical issues, and then she had a
Wow.
couple IVDD surgeries. But I
Right.
mean, yeah,
And you
but she's been so
was
easy.
it later? What it was her where when they were like trying to put her in anesthesia, they squeeze her a little hard and something. Was that right? Or was that?
Yeah, after her second IVDD surgery, they went to check her incision because they had opened her up from neck to chest,
Uh-huh.
which sounds like a lot, but her neck to chest is only
Just that
20
big,
inches long.
yeah.
But they went to check, and somehow they restrained her. And I wasn't there, so they took her back to do this, and they
Sure.
came out and they said, we were restraining her to check her, and her eye popped out.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
said, what do you mean her eye popped out?
Yeah.
And her whole eye came out, and they put it back in, and
Yeah.
they had to sew her little eye shut for like 2 weeks. And this
Oh
poor little
my
thing, I'm like,
goodness.
she's been through two
That's so
IVDD
funny because when you just
surgeries.
said you're like, I saw this dog with the two big eyes. I knew it was mine. And then little do you know later, you're like, she does have big eyes. I
She
didn't.
does. She does. Like her little eyes. And actually, I was with a friend the other day, and Scarlett blinked, and she says, I don't know if you could see her eyes,
Mhm.
but she blinked, and she says, "Oh my gosh, she looks like a Muppet." And I said, I say that all the time, where the Muppets do the slow blink. She
Yeah.
does that. She doesn't look real. And a lot of times when she's riding in her stroller, people will come up and say, "Is that a real dog?" I'm like, "Yeah,
You're
she's
like,
very real."
obviously, it's a
Yeah,
fashion model. Of course, it's a
right.
real dog. So so you've had Scarlett for then 10 years. When did Paisley come into the picture?
Oh, I had Paisley before Scarlett.
Really? But
Yes,
you
yes.
hadn't really done like the social media side of things, and that was kind of
No.
a new thing. Okay,
It
cool.
was new. I had Facebook. I'm old, and I only
I
did
got a
Facebook.
Facebook. I
And,
got,
and it was my personal Facebook. I'm from a small town in Idaho, and everybody knows everybody. So you have like 3,000 friends, and they're people that you might know, or it's a friend of a friend
friends
or
of,
something.
yeah.
And so that's the only social media I ever did.
Hmm.
But when we went on the road, I'm like, man, I'm lonely, I'm bored, I'm going to start doing a social media for her. And so I did, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. People, I
Sure.
would get messages from companies, and they'd say, do you can we do a video about her story? Like Newsner messaged me, can we do a video about your story? And so they
Yeah.
did, and it just kind of escalated and escalated. And a
Very
couple
cool.
years into it, I like to do, we joined this group called the Boo Crew.
Hmm.
It's BU, Boo Crew, and they do, everybody does a theme, and they put these little videos together. And so one year they did Star Wars, and I'm a little extra. And so I made like 8 different Star Wars outfits from scratch for them.
That's
And I did all these
great.
videos. And then later on, I'm like, oh, for, May the 4th, May the 4th be
May the
with
fourth
you.
be with you.
I did a
Yeah.
video, and it went viral. It went big time viral. And
Sure.
so we like kind of doubled our following in a couple of days. And
Wow.
yeah, so I've continued to build on, and it's just, you never know what's going to go viral, but
Yeah. And you
yeah.
meet so many, I mean, that's it's kind of a theme of people that I've talked to, particularly in, the pet industry or dog business. And it's a lot like a one dog comes in or one or two dogs that you have that completely change the trajectory of your life. Like for me, I had planned on like going to dental school like for a while, and there's a variety of reasons ended up deciding not to, but ultimately like thanks Cedric, my Springer Spaniel, he had a lot to do with that, and like it's cool. And now, and what's funny too, I forget who I was talking about this with, but like all these dogs just have no idea that they're like Scarlett has no idea that she's like famous and has a huge following. She's just happy to hang out. She's like, all right, change my diaper, please.
Yeah, she loves the attention.
Sure.
We go to a lot of things, like we go to Global Pet Expo and Super Zoo, and she'll ride in either the stroller, or she has several different remote control cars that she rides in, and we'll go booth to booth, and she'll stop at the booth and bark at him because she's been trained now that she gets treats at different booths.
Yep.
And so
That's
she's
so
like,
funny.
"Hey, look at me, give me a treat." Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's ridiculous.
That's kind of smart though,
Yeah.
She knows what, yeah. So and Paisley's also now had a couple different health things come up, but was that later on in her life?
Yeah, Paisley, I got, let's see, she just turned 14
Hmm.
a couple weeks ago. And I got her at about a year old. I was living in Tennessee, and I went to an adoption fair, just not going to look for a dog, but
Yeah.
I was snapping pictures of dogs. And when I got home, I looked at some pictures and I saw a picture and I said, "Oh, that's my dog." And I had to find her then because there was like 30 different rescues at this event.
Oh,
So
sure.
it took me like half a day to calling and trying to figure out what rescue. And then I found her and I drove up to get her. And I was living south of Nashville at the time. And I
Hmm.
drove up to Sumner County, Tennessee to get her. And coincidentally enough, that's where my husband lives. And that's now where our home is up in Sumner County. So we live
Really?
in the county that Paisley came from. Yeah.
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 Huh.
But she has some heart issues. So she's on a lot of heart meds and things, but she's doing okay. We just got a new cardiologist, and she had a really, really good checkup a few weeks ago. So
That's good.
fingers
I'm glad to
crossed.
hear that.
Yeah,
And you were prepared with all the stuff you've been doing with Scarlett the whole time. So
we try. We try.
So, to switch gears a little bit, do you want to tell me a little bit about the CFDDA? Is that yes?
Yeah,
Nailed
the
it.
CFDDA, yeah, the Community of Fashion Design Dog Association. So I joined them about, I don't know, it's probably been about 6 or 7 years ago
Hmm.
now. It was this group of people on Instagram. They were taking these virtual vacations with dogs. So it's all people that have dog and cat pet accounts. We
Hmm.
actually have a turtle now. So they're all pet accounts. And
Yeah.
so what we would do is we would make these fabulous templates where people could edit their dog onto the template, and then everybody would choose a rescue animal. So a dog in a shelter or a rescue that's looking for their forever home, and we would take these dogs on our virtual vacations with us to get a little more, to get them seen a little bit more, and hopefully help get them adopted. And
Yeah.
so we did a few events with them, doing that, and
Cool.
I finally said, this has potential. And I said, and I have all these degrees, and I do fundraising. I said, let me see if we can make a go with this and start making some money.
Yeah.
And so I came up with the idea for a puppy prom. And
Hmm.
so we did a virtual puppy prom. On our very first prom, we raised $7,000. And we were
Wow.
able to donate that to Wings of Rescue. And we chartered a flight for them from Merced, California. And they took 100 dogs and cats up to the Northwest. And
How
so
cool.
we partnered with a rescue in Merced there,
Hmm.
and we were able to pay for that. So that was our
That is
very first
amazing. And
shebang.
when was that? And then also, I guess just for listeners, because I didn't know, CFDA is the like human version.
Yeah.
That's what that is, right? The
Yes.
Community of Fashion Design Association, and that's kind of like a lot of I don't like modeling, different clothing kind of things.
That's for all the fashion designers,
Yeah.
all the big name fashion designers. If you're anybody who's anybody is in that.
Yeah.
And our my the founder, her name's Erica, and she works in the fashion industry. So she based the CFDDA off of that,
Oh,
and
that's
we just
great.
kind of,
How cool.
yeah. We use fashion as a way to soften some of the hard things in animal rescue.
Hmm.
So we use fashion. We dress up our dogs. Yes, we love dressing up our dogs and making them very fashionable
Hmm.
in in a way, and it kind of softens some of the harder things to talk about in
What
animals.
are some of those harder things?
Abuse. We raised some money. Sorry, Paisley's licking her leg. I hope it's not too loud.
Nah, you're good. I didn't hear
Yeah, we
it.
had a dog in a rescue that was assaulted, um,
Yeah,
and so
I
we had to
remember you
raise
telling
some.
us. I could not
Yeah,
believe that.
yeah. So we raised some money to help them get her reconstruction surgery. So things like that. That's very
Yeah.
hard for some people to hear. I mean,
Oh,
it's hard for
sure.
me to hear,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
work in this all the time.
Exactly. And
So.
having that softer side
Mhm.
of like, let's, show off these rescue dogs. Let's bring in this fashion design fun, get people potentially influencers or other people who might be in that industry, get them involved in that, because those are that's really, really sad. And like those are really, like you said, tough things to not only talk about, but for people to hear, but I think it's important for people to know, or you know what I mean? Not maybe
Yeah.
not everyone, but I think it's important for people to be aware that stuff like that unfortunately can happen.
Yes, yeah. So we try to really soften it because a lot of our members are wonderful, wonderful people, but they're tenderhearted and they don't want to hear about that. They're
Right.
like, I don't want to hear that a dog was assaulted.
Yeah.
What I do want to hear is I can take my dog to prom and dress my dog up in a fancy dress and take pictures, and I can donate some money and you can put it where it needs to go.
Exactly. Which is that's smart. That's smart marketing, right? Because you have that fundraising experience from before, and you just kind of have to realize like I don't know if it's audience or clientele or donators or whatever the term is, like the people who are giving those donations, like they trust you guys to put it where it needs to go, which is very
Yeah.
cool. So
Yes.
you started the prom. What year was that, or how long ago was that?
It was, I think, I should have looked. I think we've had
Ah,
5 proms now, and it's every September.
okay. So it's
And
been
then
going for about five
it's
years or so.
5 years. I think it's 5 years. I think next, oh, sorry, she's chewing on her foot. um, so maybe you
Everyone
can
likes
beat
to
that
chew
out.
on
I don't know.
feet every now and then, right?
But yeah, so I think it's 5. I think this next September will be our 6th one.
Cool.
I might be off on a year. It might be our 7th one coming
I
up. I
won't
can't
quote
remember.
you. It's okay.
Yeah. But then a couple years in, we started doing a spring Sadie Hawkins dance where it's the
Ah,
girls, that's the
yes.
boys. And
Yes.
people get very into this. Like they
Oh, I'm
do like
sure.
promposals, and we have a prom court. And then a spring for Sadie Hawkins, we have the Rowdy Royal Rodeo Court. And
Oh
so,
my
you can
goodness.
get king or queen of the dance, or you can
Yeah.
be on the court and be a prince or princess. And people love it.
And all of
Um,
this is virtual as well, right?
all virtual.
That,
Everything is
that's
virtual.
great too, because then, I mean, doing events and fundraisers and gals, which I'm sure you've had experience with those, they're awesome, but it's, not, both of them are going to be a ton of work, but you have to have people show up there versus like virtual. Everyone's got their phone. They're like, yeah, this is.
Yep. Yep. And we do it all weekend long. So if you're not going to be available Saturday night, post it Saturday morning, post it Sunday morning. We're very flexible. We tell
Yeah.
everybody this is your prom or this is
Yeah.
your dance. Have fun with
They
it.
might not, they might not be the king and queen if they're not there all the time, but
Right, right. And we do it, it's all donation based. So
Mhm.
we say you set the price of your ticket. If you can afford $1 for your ticket, afford $1. If you can afford
Right.
$100 for your ticket, we appreciate that too. We appreciate everything, equally.
Yeah.
So then a few years ago, we turned it into a nonprofit. So we used to collect the money and send it straight to a rescue or whoever we were fundraising for.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I said, there's this crisis in California. So many animals are being euthanized in Southern California. I said, I would really like to start fundraising to get a transport bus.
Sure.
And I could come down once a month or twice a month from Northern California. I could go to Southern California, pick up a busload of animals, take them to rescue partners throughout the Northwest. And everybody was like, let's do it. Let's do
Yeah.
it. So we've
And
been
that's
fundraising
the
for 2 years.
Project Freedom Bus.
Yep, yep. Project Freedom Bus. And we've been fundraising for 2 years, and we're still a little
Amazing.
short. So we're trying to get a couple of corporate sponsors. We want to put a nice wrap on the bus
Yeah.
that shows what we do, but we also want a corporate sponsor to be able to put their ad on there. So
Sure.
we're hoping to find a corporate
Wagworks ever
sponsor.
takes off. You just
We would love that. We would love that.
Me too.
Yeah. Yes, but
Cool.
so yeah, we've been fundraising for that, and we're very close to our goal. We're just a little bit short. So once we get that, and then I've cultivated this amazing partnership with some. There's a big influencer that we're working with in
Mhm.
Southern California, Nathan the Cat Lady. He
Yeah.
does TNR. He does a lot for cats, and he's been wanting his own rescue for a long time. And I talked to him at Super Zoo back in August, and I said,
Cool.
Nathan, I'm doing this. I'm putting together this team, and he says I want in. I said, oh, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
And so then my friend Haley was running a large rescue in Texas, but she wanted out of Texas, and
Yeah.
Texas just wasn't for her. And I said, come to California. I said, let's do this. And, you can run the dog side of it. Nathan and then Sterling, the Trap King, they can run the cat side of it. You guys will fundraise and get this land and build this rescue up. And in the meantime, I've been cultivating partnerships with the Caravita Foundation. They've been putting in these amazing locations all throughout Southern California that do high volume, low cost spay and neuters.
Wow.
So we're
Yeah.
partnering with them. I've been meeting with different rescues down there, and so we finally did it. We moved Haley to Southern California about 6 weeks ago or so at this point, and we've been looking for land. And so we think we've just found the perfect land. We're
Really?
getting ready to put an offer in on it
No
now.
way.
Yes, and so it's happening. It's finally happening. And
Really
then
exciting.
yeah, so what they're going to do is they're going to pull dogs from the kill shelters
Hmm.
and cats, dogs and cats from the kill shelter. We figure we're going to start with about 40 at a time. And then so to take a dog across state lines, they have to be in quarantine for 2 weeks prior to that, and then they have to
Right.
get health certificates. So they will pull these animals into the rescue, quarantine them, make sure they're spayed and neutered. She's having a terrible time. I don't know if you can hear her coughing over there.
He's
Okay,
okay.
so they're going to get spayed and neutered, get all their shots, get their health certificates, and then I will come down, pick them up in the transport bus, and take them
Nice.
to our rescue partners. So we figure even if we just do one bus a month to start out, that's 500 animals the first year.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's a
My
huge. It may
goodness.
not
Yeah.
sound like a lot, but
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
and if it goes well, we could do weekly or bi-weekly trips and
Right.
double that.
And
So we're
get more buses down the line. Yeah, and I think it's important to remember too that any work in the rescue and saving a dog from euthanization is good work, right? Like it's a problem that's it's so large that I feel like sometimes people get defeated by the concept of like I can't save them all, but I mean. I'm not in, we're working on our nonprofit right now, so I haven't done much in that space. But just from what I've understood, like, from what I've heard, every little thing matters, right? Because, like, your dog, your dog Scarlett, really kind of made this whole thing really begin. And, like, imagine all of those 40 dogs in 1 month, who's that going to affect? And, it's cool to
yeah,
think of it that way.
yeah, just the fact that it's going to keep that dog alive,
Yeah.
and get them to a forever home because the Northwest they don't have the problem like they do in the
Hmm.
southern states.
Right.
And so just to get them out, get them into a home, get them into a loving family, that's amazing. I mean,
It
we
is.
can't we're just so excited. We can't believe it's finally
Yeah, I'm
happening.
very excited for you guys.
Yeah.
And congratulations on putting in
Yeah.
that bid. That's cool.
Thank you. Let's hope it
Yeah,
goes.
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
So, kind of from there, you had mentioned you guys had formed the nonprofit. Was it just you and Erica on the team to begin with, or you had some other people, and then like Nathan came in and, um,
So yeah, it started out, and there was a group of ladies that were running it,
mhm,
and then I came in and I made the fourth. So we had Erica, she's the president, and
mhm,
then so the other three of us, like I'm vice president of fundraising. We have Janet who does our finance, and she takes care of all the money part of it, and then Bernadette, she does operations. She also runs our Dogs Against Domestic Violence unit.
yeah,
So yeah, they do
very
a great
cool.
job.
Yeah. So going back a little bit, I wanted to hear about. I know you guys just did the LA Fashion Week, and what was going on with that?
So there's a brilliant designer named Anthony Rubio, and
Hmm.
he incorporates dogs into a lot of his, and I'm not a fashion guru by any means. Me
Yeah,
and my
I don't
t-shirt.
I don't know anything about fashion at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I had seen several casting calls
Hmm.
for, he was looking for dogs to walk in the fashion show, and I'm like, I'm gonna apply. And he makes these beautiful garments that coordinate with a lot of the models.
Yeah.
And so they gave us a call back, and we had, I think, about 2 days to get down to LA and do this, but it was worth it. It was worth every minute that we had to
Oh, so
drive.
it was just like you had to go. You got the thing.
Pretty much. It was I think he has a lot of regulars that he works with,
Sure.
and then perhaps maybe not everybody could do this time, so he was looking for a few extra doggos, and
Yeah.
we got to meet some really, really amazing people. Rachel, I can never say her last name, Palazzo. She's a very famous model. She
Yeah.
was one of the models there,
Cool.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, my dog's standing next to this famous,
Yeah.
model and actress. I'm like, wow, very cool. But we got to work there with Access Hollywood, and that's our second time working with Access Hollywood, and we're going to be working with them hopefully again in a few weeks. So
Really?
yeah,
What do you have coming up? Are you allowed to talk about it yet? Is it under wraps? It's under
yeah.
wraps.
I can. It's not a secret by any means, but in December we are filming with Eli and Mike Live.
Yeah.
They are. I don't know if you know them.
You had
They
mentioned it in our call previously.
Yeah, so they are social media guys, and what they do is they go out on the streets and they find people and say, "Hey, can we give you a makeover? We'll give you $100." And so they're great guys. They do that, and they've gotten very, very famous on social media doing
Sure.
this. And they had done a video with Gunther, the richest dog in the world.
Hmm.
And so we had worked with Gunther this last summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'll tell you that story in a second. But
Yeah.
so I messaged them and I said, "Hey, we know Gunther too. What about coming up to a dog on the street and giving them a makeover?" I said, "We've got this rescue here. We've got this dog named Wilma. She's been in rescue since she was a puppy,
Yeah.
and she's now 4 years old, and she's just waiting for her forever home. She's been waiting for 4 years in a rescue." I said, "Could we do a makeover on her and maybe help get her a home?" And they loved the idea.
That
And
is
so now
great.
it sounds like they're going to kind of work some different dog videos into their
Yeah.
content.
So
So
I guess you'd have to get a groomer that if this person's coming over and doing makeup and stuff like, and then you try to start doing the dog grooming, it probably would not end up well.
So, fortunately, I'm very good at talking to people, and
Yeah.
so we went
I
to.
can. You are very good at talking.
I am. So we went to just ask my husband. He's an introvert; he can never get a word in. But but we went to a costume contest a few weeks ago in
Mhm.
Beverly Hills, and it was very, very packed and very busy. And so I went and met a groomer there, and I said, "Hey, do you want to work with us
Cool.
on this?" And so they're in. We've got that's Mishka Pet Grooming in Beverly Hills,
Mhm.
and then we're working with Society Hounds in Beverly Hills, which is like a little boutique store. So we're going to go in and get her some accessories,
Oh,
and so
that's
she's going to get a
great.
bath and some nails and stuff, and we're going to do
Really
that. And
cool
so
that you're putting all of this together. I mean, I think it's, to have this project, be something where you're starting, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, where you're doing these virtual proms, which is great. But I mean, I really think it's a lot of it is, you being willing to put yourself out there, being passionate. And when you meet people, not afraid to say, "Hey, well, I also know this person," right? And like, it's kind of that. I mean, I don't know. When I was starting Wagworth, and still now, I'll text people or I'll meet people, and then you kind of keep those conversations going. And when it's authentic and also relating to pets, people seem to get behind it. So that's very cool.
yeah, we've been very blessed to be able to work with some really amazing people and some very famous people.
Yeah.
So, we've with our our viral Star Wars video, we've been invited 3 years in a row to go to Fan Expo in San Francisco. And so,
Cool.
we've gotten to work with like Danny Trejo, who
Mhm.
is a wonderful human being, and he's amazing he's an advocate for animals. And so he's just great. And so, I mean, I have pictures of him just holding and cuddling Scarlett, and Sean Astin he was very good to her. And so we've just been very blessed
Yeah.
to be able to, and she's different. So people see her and think, oh, she's not real, or, oh, she's wearing a diaper,
Mhm.
and they want to know her story. So
Sure.
people will come up. And we were at Fan Expo a couple years ago, and a guy came up and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, Mr. Winkler would like to see your dog." And I'm like, Mr. Winkler.
Hmm.
Yeah, so she got to go meet the Fonz and his wife.
No
So
way.
it was just like one of those moments you're like, is this happening? Like, is this
I
really
think I
happening?
think pets really level the playing field, to be honest. Like no matter how high, like I don't know, high, I don't not high priority, but I don't know where I'm like how, how high they are in tiers of Hollywood, A, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Um, Once you bring a dog in, it's just like, oh, look at the dog. There's no more like you have to keep up this persona, or you have to do something. So it is, yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yes. It's been amazing. I can't believe some of the stuff I've gotten to do just because I have a cute dog. Who would have
Well, I
thought?
mean, there's a lot of work that you're putting in behind it too. So, and what's nice is you have a lot of experience with the RV, so you'll be ready to drive that bus. You'll be ready to drive.
Yes, we do. I travel full time. We're in the RVs. Like right now we're in the big RV, but I
Yeah,
have next door I've got my little RV where it's just when it's just me and the girls,
sure.
that little 19-footer I take with me everywhere. And
And y'all use Starlink, is that right?
yeah, yeah,
That's
we
cool.
do.
I was like, the connection is great. I mean, who knows where you are, but there you go. You gotta
Yeah,
have
it works
social
pretty
media.
darn good most of the time.
Oh
So
yeah.
Starlink, maybe we can put you on our transport bus. Do you want to be a corporate sponsor?
Yeah, shout them out.
For sure, for
That's
sure.
great. So, we got just a couple minutes left, but what else is next for you? And where can people find you? How do they donate? And again, maybe want to recap some of those projects that you guys are working on.
Absolutely. So if they want to find Scarlett, she's on most social media as Scarlett's Faith. It's
Hmm.
SCARLETTSFAITH. That's her Instagram. And our nonprofit is the CFDDA Foundation.org, not the. So it's just
Yeah.
CFDDAfoundation.org. And then on Instagram, we have several Instagrams. The one that I run is the CFDDA_fundraiser.
Hmm.
And then we also have the_CFDDA. And then we have the CFDDA rescue room.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the ones. We also have the Dogs Against Domestic Violence and the
Sure.
CFDDV. And then, so if you go to our website, cfddafoundation.org, and you click on donate, there's two different ones you can choose. The top one takes you just to donate to our nonprofit, or the second one takes you to some different tiers where you can donate for our rescue bus. And so for the
This
rescue bus,
close, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so close. For the rescue bus, we do like I think it's the Go sponsorship. The Go sponsorship is, I believe, $50 to sponsor a tank of gas. You can put your dog on the side of our bus for $1,000 donation. We've got corporate sponsors for $5,000 and $10,000 where we'll put their ad on the bus, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get a nice wrap for it once we get the bus, and so it's going to be beautiful. And there's
I'm
limited
really
space.
excited. I'm excited to follow along and see that.
Yes, it's been a long time coming, and I can't believe it's finally getting here. And once we get the land in LA, things will start rolling very quickly. So
Definitely.
we're just kind of, that's our holding pattern right now. And once we get that land, it's going to go fast and furious and be amazing.
You got to take some time to take a breath before it all goes, you know?
We're going home for 3 weeks at Christmas
Nice.
to
Nice.
Tennessee, which
Get a little
we don't.
charged up before,
Yeah,
right?
we don't get to go home very often.
Even
So,
extroverts need to have some recharge time, right?
well, I say we're going home, but when I go home, I work with like Music City Animal Rescue in Nashville.
Yeah.
I'll do a bunch of
You gotta
fundraising.
have something to do. I mean, that's just the nature of it.
Yeah, in
Oh.
fact, Vicky from Music City Animal Rescue called me the other day, and she's like, "When are you going to be home? When can we do something?" She's amazing. So everybody should go
Yeah.
check out Music City Animal Rescue too.
Sure.
They're doing
Sure.
great things in Nashville.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for coming on, and can't wait to again follow along with everything you guys have going on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.